At first I really resented that because I was like,
I find it annoying still.
Yeah. Hey there! 皆さん、こんにちは。アーサーです。今回の動画では、あなたの英語のリスニングを鍛えるためのネイティブ同士の会話をお届けしたいと思います。学習のために作られた会話ではなく、僕とアメリカ人の友達のオースティンとの本当に生の会話を The Austin and Arthur Show という別のチャンネルでお届けしています。ただ、そのチャンネルではですね、字幕がなくてちょっとハードルが高いですね。そこで定期的に字幕付きの動画をこちらのチャンネルでシェアすることになりました。お役に立てたらとっても嬉しいです。ちなみに今回の話題は外国人として日本に住む上でどれくらい同化するべきかとそれぞれの考え方を語りました。I hope you enjoy it and let's get started. Cheers! So today, we're going to get a little bit feisty.
Yeah.
I think. Because you and I have different opinions on
Very
this topic.
different.
Awesome. What's our topic today?
So we're going to talk about assimilation.
Dude, what? No, not... You, that sounds like you're saying simulation.
No, Dude, oh
I
my...
know.
Do you not know Doctor Who?
I don't watch Doctor Who. I only watch good TV.
Oh, I mean, okay. Fair enough.
You don't deny it.
But I don't know. It's like also Star Trek, like the Borg.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You must assimilate.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, so we're talking about...
you're a Borg.
We're talking about assimilating in Japanese culture because, there's been a few times on this episode where I've been kind of shocked by what you said.
I am vehemently American.
Yes.
And that will never change.
And I understand you're American, and I'm like,
yeah.
So we've talked to some people who are really trying to like assimilate big time into Japanese culture, like become Japanese. And I don't think you have to go that far, but I think you should assimilate as much as you can in the country that you live in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I often claim to be like really American, but I still do a lot of things that are very Japanese.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like, I try to follow the mannerisms here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of pride American pride when it comes to that. Like I don't want to create issues for people here. So, just small stuff like, if I'm going out in a restaurant, I will try to usually use hashi.
Yeah.
Unless it just doesn't make sense to me to do so. Small little things like that. Like I take my shoes off, obviously, because I'm not an animal.
Yeah. I guess what we should do is we should kind of break down what does assimilation look like to us. So saying, should we assimilate? What does that look like to you?
What it looks like to me, is somebody who abandons their culture to embrace Japanese culture. That's what assimilation means to me.
It abandons their culture. So even like their heart identity is gone.
So I'll tell you who I think, or who comes off as somebody who assimilates is a person who maybe they moved here from of course they moved here from another country, and they don't use their native language. They don't dress like a person from their country. Their mannerisms are very Japanese, and all of it. This is the big one. Their social group is Japanese.
Social group is Japanese. Okay.
Because I think that's a really big indicator of a person who's assimilated in a Japanese culture and a person who hasn't is based off of their social group.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. So I guess our definition is a little bit different. So the way that I see assimilation is someone who tries hard to blend in with the larger community. So maybe their home private life is different.
Yeah.
But they blend in. So it's kind of like, I guess, when I think of assimilation, I think of my family, because my family's Greek. But they took on English names.
Yeah.
And my grandfather didn't teach his kids Greek.
Yeah.
He just taught them English.
I would say that's assimilation.
Yeah.
For sure. Like if you and I didn't teach our children English, that would be an example of assimilation.
But they did go to Greek Orthodox Church and they did Greek festivals and stuff like that. And when there was like a Greek actor on TV, they're like, oh yeah, he's a Greek, you know? But I don't know. So for me, you know, the way that I see it is, you know, when I live here, I know that there are lots of foreigners who cause problems here.
Yeah.
And I want to be a good ambassador for my country.
You want to be a good little foreigner.
I want to be a good little foreigner, exactly. Because there's so many problems that happen.
You know what they call people like you? The house slave.
Uncle Tom.
You're
Yeah,
the house slave.
I'm the Uncle Tom, yeah. Yeah, we don't need to get into that, man. No, but it's true because like I don't know, I see especially now, you know, because so many tourists are coming to Japan, so many foreigners are coming to Japan wreaking havoc basically. And I don't want people to have too many negative associations with foreigners, you know?
Well, I agree with you and I don't. The way that I look at it is I can't control how people act, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that really upset me when I see tourists come here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of things that really bother me in Japanese culture too, that I'm just look at and like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we working 60-hour work weeks?
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, America, you know, as much flack as we give Japan for, you know, having really long work hours, America's like almost right up there with Japan.
Yeah. Well, because America doesn't take vacation days.
Yeah.
That's why. So like actually, so in Japan, they work longer hours each day, but they take more vacation days.
Yeah. So if when it comes to assimilation, that is a very hard line that I will not cross. Yeah. I will not do overtime. I work 9 to 4 every day. Yeah. Occasionally I'll stay after because you know, I participate in clubs and I'll have like, you know, some other reason to stay after, but the latest I will stay outside of obligations is 6 p.m.
Yeah.
6 p.m. That's like a very hard line that if I was getting extra overtime pay, sure, I'll stay. But the American in me is like, nah, I'm done. I did my work for the day. I'm not doing tomorrow's work.
Yeah, I guess our situation is different because like, you know, I own my own business. I work my own hours. And I'm not necessarily in a foreign community or Japanese community. Yeah. I'm like removed from community. I'm in my own community.
Yeah,
you know?
Honestly, I really think you are.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, that's kind of like a little bit of anti-assimilation from you because you refuse to become the salary man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I do have a pretty equal balance of foreign and Japanese friends, I would say.
You got that American entrepreneur spirit.
That is true. Yeah. But I mean, for me, like, I don't know, you know, the thing that I've also noticed is, you know, when I first came to Japan, there were a lot of things that would happen and I would think, man, why do they do things that way? It's so strange. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But as I live here longer, I understand why people do it that way. And it makes sense in the microcosm, you know? Like, I remember, so I use Twitter sometimes, X, whatever, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah. And I remember, like, because there are a lot of tech bros on Twitter, and they were making fun of the fact that at Haneda Airport, one of, like, on, like, the Suica, like, get your Suica card kiosk thing, they had, like, a handwritten message with a hand-drawn map saying, like, hey, if you want to pay by credit card, you need to go over here. Yeah. This is cash only. And they had like a little map. And I guess they were criticizing it by saying, oh, look, this is handwritten. Like, why didn't they just make a design in a computer or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like...
I think that is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree with them. I also think it's not a big deal. It's like, dude, who cares? Yeah. But also, like, you guys could have made this a little bit more official looking, because I think something that's typically maybe this isn't really thought of in the same way, but when it comes to handwritten stuff, in Western culture, it's viewed as unprofessional. Yeah. You know, and it comes back to letter writing. Yeah. Right. Where letters would be, you know, handwritten, and the idea was there was a little bit of like, privateness or, you know, personal stuff. Whereas, you know, typically like business contracts and stuff would be typed out or pressed together, right?
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. So I feel like people arguing there are coming from that experience where it just looks unprofessional.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but it also just depends on like your culture and your values and stuff like that. Because I remember, actually, web design in Japan has changed. I feel like, especially since we've gone into Deiwa, I feel like Japan has become more globalized and more.
Oh, undeniably, of course.
So I'm talking mainly about Heisei stuff, but I remember because back like maybe 8 years ago, there was this viral post on the internet talking about why Japanese web design is so bad. Because the websites were so crappy compared to that. And they were actually comparing Honda Japan and Honda USA websites.
Oh, really?
And like the Honda Japan website was like one of those chirashi, like one of those like bargain flyer, hey, buy your thing here. And there was so much text. And people, it's funny because in the States, people are like, there's so much text. I don't want to read this. It's hard for me to focus. This sucks, you know? But what they were saying was that Japanese people on average, because I mean, Japan's very safe, but I think Japan's also very safe because it's a very low trust society. And so because of that low trust, that low mutual trust, you need more information before you can arrive at a buying decision. So they would put all the information on the first page. So it looks super cluttered, but that's what worked.
No, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah. I think just Japan in general, you will see a lot more text everywhere, especially when it comes to buying stuff.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example of this, going into 7-Eleven, looking at all the different prices, because it gives you 3 different prices when you're buying something. The first price will be the base cost. The second price will be the price with tax included. And then for a lot of items that you typically would be expected to buy multiple of, it'll cost you the price per unit.
Yeah, right.
And that is something you don't see in like, for example, Western markets where you go in and it's just like, there's the price. Yes, there's tax, but we can't be asked to show you the cost of the thing with
figure
tax. Figure it out. So I agree with that.
Yeah, and it just kind of goes back to like, when I first moved here, and I saw all of the super detailed explanations of things and how like, there's cute characters everywhere and there's such in-depth explanations.
Yeah.
At first I really resented that because I was like,
I find it annoying still.
Yeah. And I get it. I resented it because I was like, like, what are you making this? Is this a country for sissies that can't think by themselves and can't act by themselves?
Yeah.
And I understand that logic because like in America, people value strength and independence and figuring out by yourself. So you don't have that support and that information. Yeah. But then now I see it on the side of Japan where they're like, hey, we just want to be as helpful as we can.
Yeah.
And that's actually, why is that a bad thing? That should be a good thing.
And going back to your example of the map, right? I think a Japanese person would look at that and go, oh, wow, they took the time to draw out this map and help people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here in Japan, that would be viewed as like kind of going the extra mile and being like, oh, look, here's this thing. I did this for you.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? But then a Western person looks at that and is like, what is this trash? This is unprofessional. What, you can't print this?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how like you can look at something and just based off your culture, think 2 completely different things about it.
Yeah. And, and that's why, especially now, like, I mean, we're talking about being the good foreigner, the good house slave, whatever, like I'm not, it's not like it's my mission in life to be the good foreigner that all the Japanese people like, but I do want to assimilate because, the more that I live here, the more I understand why things are done. And like, it just makes sense.
I think I kind of approach it from the perspective of, I like to pick and choose which things that I hold value to because there's a lot of American culture that I hate.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate. A good example is, I'm actually kind of guilty of this. So I am a hypocrite. I will come out and say this.
Okay.
It drives me insane when Americans have to voice their opinion about everything.
Yes.
You know, that's like one of the telltale signs. It's like, oh, you're American. The telltale signs. You go into a group here in Japan, and, you know, maybe the group has a couple foreigners, and instantly an American will tell you how they feel about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks. I hate this.
Yeah.
Or this is great. You know what? If you don't like this, you're probably just not a smart person.
Yeah.
You know, those are things that Americans will say, right?
Yeah.
And you just have such like binary opinions about stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. It drives me insane. You go back to America and, you know, it doesn't matter where you are in America. Every single family in America has this.
Yeah.
My family, your family, our friends, everybody does this. And I do it too. I'm sure you do it too. And it's something we can't really control just because it's like we grew up in American society, but it drives me insane having lived in Japan and kind of being a little bit removed from it.
Yeah.
And I look back on it now and I'm just like, oh, God, shut up.
Yeah, it's funny.
No one cares.
It's so funny when I see like American people or like Western people come here, and, you know, I guide them around Tokyo sometimes. Maybe they're friends of friends or something.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, oh, that's weird. Why would they do that? It's like a common like phrase that people just use as a reaction. Like, well, that's weird. Well, that's weird. Why would they do that? Well, that's weird. I'm like, why do you have to be so judgmental? Like, just accept it. It's just different. Who cares? You know? But I will tell you one thing though.
We don't do this in America.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like, no shit, dude. You're in Japan.
Dude, I remember like I was on Facebook, and there was this Facebook group of foreigners living in Japan, and someone was like, hey, do you know where I can get like triple XL clothes and like deodorant? I was like, yeah, this isn't America. This is Japan. You know? But that's a tough thing for you and me, because
tell me about it. I am a sweaty, stinky man right now, and it's horrible.
Yeah. So that's
it's so hot.
So that's another level of like the assimilation thing here, because like our bodies are not made for here.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
I feel like, so I wouldn't say we're like a round circle in a square peg, but we're kind of like in a square peg that's just a little bit rough hewn, and like you can get it in there if you jam it in there, but it's going to hurt a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's like something to really bring up about race, because it's not really a comfortable topic, but people are built different.
Yeah.
Right? And we are white people.
Yeah.
White people come from Northern Europe, and well, I at least come from Northern. I guess you're
I'm
more
part
Southern
of Northern Europe. I'm half.
But yeah, it's like white people come from Northern Europe, and if you look at the climate of Northern Europe, it's freaking cold.
Yeah.
And it gets up to like in the summer, like the mid-20s.
Yeah.
Like it's like 20 degrees Celsius, or if you're using Fahrenheit, like the mid-80s.
Yeah.
Right? That's like the hottest it ever gets.
Yeah.
It gets very cold in the winter. And so, you know, white people have adapted to cold weather.
Yeah.
So you put us in a tropical environment and we don't do very well.
Yeah. Right.
It sucks.
It's like so this is a horrible example, but you know, in the South, they used to have a bunch of like Irish slaves to help them till the land, and they all kept on dying from the heat. So then they brought in African slaves, and everything was okay. Yeah. You know, but you know, it's funny because this goes back to, you know, so it's summer right now when we're filming this. It's July. Yeah. And normally, for a long time when we were married, I didn't have much money, so we couldn't travel very much. But then we started to get money, so I could travel, and we would go back to Boston in the summer. And the first summer we went back to Boston in the middle of July, I'm sitting at the table eating lunch, and Natsumi just looks at me and says, Arthur, why is your hair so nice? Because in Japan, it's a sweaty, gloppy mess normally.
Yeah. You know? I'll tell you what happens with my hair is it gets super dried out.
Oh, really?
In the summer. Yeah. Because all the moisture just gets sucked into the air. Yeah. And so like my hair just gets like really dried out.
Yeah. Yeah, mine gets really frizzy too. But it's those things, you know, it's, you know, like when we were talking about, you know, for headaches, you know, getting itamido and getting like aspirin, whatever. Yeah. So the regular Japanese medicine doesn't work for me. If I have a headache,
no, it doesn't do anything
for
me.
I need to get the extra heavy stuff made for like period cramps.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that actually fixes my headaches, you know? Like I've had regular buffeting. It doesn't do anything to me.
You know, I'm the same way, man.
Yeah.
It literally, it's like, what am I doing with this medicine?
And so of course, like I want to assimilate, you want to assimilate too, maybe assimilate in a different degree as me, but our bodies are also fairly incompatible with this, you know? Plus you bump your head on everything, man. You're so tall.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. If you made it this far, we have an awesome opportunity to join the
Austin and Arthur Friends. Because in the Austin and Arthur Friends, you can get the rest of this video with English and Japanese subtitles and all the other videos we don't share on this channel. You can also get access to the PDF script for you to read along with the video. You'll get this long conversation in separate smaller videos so it's easy to study, access to a Kaien Gente community, members-only community, and opportunities to talk directly with us.
Wow! That's so amazing! You should join today.
Yeah, have fun.
Bye, everybody.
今回の動画では生きた英語をたくさん学べたと思いますが、英語を実際に話せるようになるにはどうしたらいいのでしょうか？ほとんどの方は英語のフレーズ、文法をたくさん学ぶのですが、いきなり外国人を目の前にして話す機会が来たら、頭が真っ白になって言葉が出てこなくなります。僕自身も日本語を4年間勉強したのですが、実際に日本に行ったら全く話せなくて本当に悔しい思いをしました。でもそこで気づきました。英語を実際に話せるようになる鍵はもっと勉強するのではなく、英語を実際に話す感覚を身につけることです。それができたら、僕と数百人の僕の生徒が気軽に楽しく話せるようになって、人生が劇的に変わりました。その実際に話す感覚を身につけた方法は、今回の動画でシェアすると長くなるので、無料ガイドブックにまとめました。興味のある方はぜひこちらをクリックするか、動画の下のリンクをクリックしてください。As always, enjoy your English adventures. これからも一緒に世界とつながりましょう。See you next time!